it was really my second journey to Ecuador with Rocío. I had heard about her long before I met her and was just really looking forward to meeting her. And on the first trip, we did meet up with her and she served as our guide for half the trip. And of course, I fell instantly in love with her and madly in love and recognized what a remarkable human being she was and asked her if we could do another trip with her. And she was really excited about it. And I'll just do a little introduction to the story and then you can fill in because you know this area so well. So Rocío planned this remarkable trip that was definitely off the beaten trail. We always like to advertise our plant lovers journeys as off the beaten trail, but Rocío would take us like where there were no trails. And in fact, where we went, there were no trails. We ended up having to take a river, go up the river, the Santiago River. And on this trip, Rocío was really interested in taking us to these remote villages that were in the Pacific rainforest. And they were villages that really were not visited often. And they were these remarkable people. They were the Afro-Ecuadorians who had escaped generations before from the slave ships, and they had never been enslaved other than on those ships. And so they had this remarkable culture within Ecuador. And she really wanted to bring our group to meet these people in these very remote villages. And so it all sounded really exciting when we were talking back and forth, planning the trip for the year ahead that it takes. But when we arrived, the first thing is we had to go through this city called Esmeralda. And of course, I'd always do a lot of pre-reading and getting ready for the trip. And every single book I read about Esmeralda said, don't go there, because it was not the safest city. And it was also a malaria-ridden area. But Rocío felt that it would be, it's the only place we could launch on to the river. And so she did take us there. And like, I already fully trusted her. So with my group, right? So we went. But the second thing was it had been raining. Really, they had a lot of rain and the river was swollen. It was huge and running really fast. And we had 3 kind of wooden boats waiting for our group. And being Americans, everybody traveled with a lot of baggage. So we not only had like a very large group, we also had a lot of baggage. I'm going to let you take over here and you can share some of the story as we headed up that river, Rocío.
Well, Rosemary gave me a call and say, are you Rocío Alarcón? And I said, yes. I didn't speak English. Now I tried, but at that period I didn't. And I said, yes, yes. I didn't know what she was saying, but I said, yes, yes, yes. But her voice called my spirit. Mm-hmm. And I arrived home and Mom said, did you talk with the lady? And I said, yes. What she wants? And I said, I don't know. And I said, Mom, the only thing that I'm going to do is just to bring these people to the green, to the wild, and to meet with the people that is working in the project. We have a big project. So I was quite exciting. I went to talk with my boss and I said, boss, please, can I use the canoes and on and on? And he said, okay, do whatever you want. So, and he let me, he gave me the 3 canoes and the top drivers. Of course, with the number of people and all the baggages, took us time to put all the baggages in the canoes and on. So we arrived late and we were navigating, crossing basically this huge river that is going to the Pacific Ocean. It's the jungle that we call the Chocó, high level of biodiversity and special tribes living there, including the Afro, the last Afro hunters with special ceremonies, and the Chachi, the people who lived there 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So at that period, very white people living there, and I feel so proud. I love them, and we organize all. Took me time to organize and say, just play the marimbas when they arrive, make the sounds of the trees and the music of the trees, because the marimba is made with pieces of tree, of the palm. But we arrived late at night. When we were navigating, the stars, fantastic. And did you remember, Rosemary, in the water, these shining insects
Oh,
and
yes.
fish?
Yeah.
We didn't know if we were in the heaven or we were into the water.
What I really remember, I do remember those absolutely, but I also remember because of the flooding, once we would be, so we start down the river, right, and we'd see all these little villages, and I'd think, oh, good, we're here, right? A couple hours go by, and then 4 hours and 5, and we'd see these little villages, and okay, we're there. This has been wonderful. But then it got really dark, right? And there was no light, and we're going down this flooded river. And then every once in a while, the headlights or the little flashlights that they had on their heads would go on, or they'd hold their little flashlight, the drivers, and there would be this enormous wood, big logs coming down the river at us, and they would turn the lights on right in time to go around them every time. That was another time I knew there was magic afoot here. And I learned later, of course, that these people have been navigating that river forever. So any change in the sound, they just knew. You know, we'd see the little children that in those days that we stayed in the village, they'd go out in the little rafts all by themselves, you know, but it was remarkable. And then just as you said, like after several hours of going down that river, we came to the village, and they had been waiting for us a long time, but they were all there. And they came down to the river singing with their instruments, and you know, they had those beautiful instruments they made from the forest, and they were singing and waiting for us.
This rather has the age of that period.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Rattle it. Let's hear it. That's it.
They were doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was around 30 years ago. I was trying to remember the year. It was in the early 1990s. But it was at that, you know, watching you and just watching, you were in the head boat in the first boat, and then Cascade and I were in the second boat. And every single time we'd see one of these log jams going by, Cascade and I would look at each other. Of course, the whole time we're thinking of these people that we brought, but neither of us were ever afraid. I think I sensed, like everybody senses when they meet you, this tremendous power and your connection, you know, with humans, certainly, and with the plants, but also with the spirit world. I knew we were being guided. I also really had no doubt that we were in for an amazing experience. And truly it was. We stayed in that village for several days. Yes. And then, you know, we just brought right into their homes and fed by these people, and they shared their ceremonies with us. It was really a humbling experience for us. And then we went downriver to the next village.
Yes.
But yeah,
yes.
that was the beginning of a very long and cherished friendship for us. And really, I think one of the things for me was the opportunity to introduce you to so many of my friends. You know, it's been beautiful to see the weave, that web that weaves us all together, just grow and grow, and really to watch your work blossom forth and touch so many people in this world. It's really just an honor.
Thank you so much, Rosemary. For me, it's like when Rosemary invited me to the international in Wheaton College, I was terrified. Oh my God, to go to the plane. For me, the canoe was normal in the river, in the logs, you know, but in the plane, and after trying to cross the street there, I was so scared. And of course, Rosemary gave me accept when I was to offer the bathing for the women, and usually women just naked. Did you remember in the villages, the women, they were with the breasts naked, and for us normal. When I was there and I said, okay, ladies, we need to remove the clothes, and everybody got so anxious. And I said, why you are so anxious? I don't understand. And we forgot something, and I went naked running to cross the street in that place, and one of the ladies with a sheet saying, Rocío, you are not able to do this. And I said, what, the bathing? I didn't understand. For me, it was like two cultures coming and trying to understand. And a guy driving a car, and I crossed and I said, excuse me, sir, I'm going to bring some packets. What is happening here? So for me, it was like two different cultures, but always Rosemary giving me the courage and the confidence to create, and to share what I was learning with my granny and with the local communities.
Well,
Part of my culture.
it just enriched the world so much. I do want all of you who are listening to realize that when Rocío was doing the naked bathing, it was at Wheaton College. and the first time she came to the Women's Herbal Conference, there was some young men staff. They were chefs. She was just mentioning the story. The young boy was on his bicycle on the way to go to the kitchen to cook, and he goes by and there's a classroom full of naked women, and he literally fell off his bike. That's what she was just talking about. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's so fun to reminisce with you, Rocío, and yeah.
We visited the most incredible remote, at that period, remote places with the trees.
Yes, we did, yeah.
We were in contact with the spirits of the waterfalls.
Yes.
People was listening, the voice,
Mm.
with these ears, the voice of the goddess of the jungle. And I remember one of the trips when we went to the south and we crossed that incredible waterfall.
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing. Everybody felt that we went from one port to another.
We did. Yes, we did. I think it is true what Rocío was saying is very important in the very early parts of our trip is I didn't realize how little English she really knew. And so, I would be telling her kind of what our group would need and, a little bit about the agenda and stuff. And she would always be saying, yes, see. And then when we get there, it was an entirely different trip. It was always perfect. It took me a few years to realize that she was just saying yes to the world, right? Yes, of course. And I'm really glad that you did say yes to the world, Rocío. Like when I would ask you to come and teach all those years at the International and at Sage Mountain, at the woman, you would just say yes. That was, I think, it has had a profound effect on so many of us, that huge yes you said to your work and, to the spirits of channeling that for all of us. And I'm forever grateful, for you and for your work and how that work has just continued to deepen for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosemary. You, as I'm saying always, Rosemary is the bridge between the people, the plants, and the planet. That big bridge that you can cross without any doubt, without any problem. Because that was when I met Rosemary. I feel that we met ages ago, 1,000 years ago, and her voice always guiding me and saying, Rocío, yes, all is okay, yes, Rosemary. And I understood, I learned when her eyes just guiding me into the, because I was young and little crazy at that period, going into the woodlands and calling the wind and calling the spirits like Granny was doing. I thought that is normal for everybody until when I went my first trip to United States, first time going in a plane. Oh my God, I was shivering. I said, if this machine is going to fall over, my God, this is so scary.
Yes. Yeah, it's easier to ride on the wings of the hummingbird for sure.